Hi, Taurus. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2020. It's almost birthday time for you, isn't it, Taurus? We've got stuff for you about Venus and Mars and Mercury, which is moving really fast right now, and a couple of full and new moons. Hey, Julia, what's the relationship stuff going on for Taurus this month?
Yeah, glad you asked, Jamie. So Taurus, Venus is going to be entering the sign of Gemini on April 3rd, and that means she's going to be going into your second house. And this is going to be at the very beginning of the month, and then she's going to actually stay in your second house for the entire month of April. So Venus is the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, and the second house is the house of money. So this is a really great transit for spending money on any objects or things which are Venus related. So that could mean buying a piece of art, or maybe indulging in some beauty items like makeup or clothes, or perhaps some luxury services like getting a massage, or luxury items like jewelry. So enjoy a little personal time shopping this month, which you really do love to do, Taurus. Now, the next planet I want to talk about is Mars, which is going to be in the sign of Aquarius all month. And last month, in March, Mars, which is the planet of actions, had just entered Aquarius at the very tail end of March. So it's going to be, like I said, in the sign of Aquarius for all of April, which correlates with your 10th house of career. So wherever we have Mars is where we're most driven. So you could be extra hardworking and productive this month at your job. Though you might do your best work on your own because Mars isn't the most team player planet. The 10th house also represents authority figures too, and Mars has a tendency to be a bit conflict prone. So be careful of not running into any arguments with your boss or any other authority figures you might have. It could be your parents or maybe even government officials too, like a police officer pulling you over for speeding.
Oh boy.
I know. Not that Taurus is a super speedy sign, but you know.
Yeah.
And now the next planet I want to talk about is Mercury, because Mercury is going to be moving super, super fast throughout the month of April. So that means it's actually going to be going across 3 different signs, which means 3 different houses for you. So at the beginning of April, it's going to begin in the sign of Pisces, which correlates with your 11th house of friends. So wherever we have Mercury is where we do our best thinking. So if you need to go over any plans, any ideas, any strategies that you have, it's best to do that with a group of people, like your friendship circles, instead of just maybe on your own or one-on-one with somebody. Just try to expose those ideas to a nice big group. Then on April 10th, Mercury enters the sign of Aries, which correlates with your 12th house, and that's the most hidden house in the zodiac. So it's going to be a real big shift on that date from the 11th house of friends. So instead of doing your best thinking with a group, you actually might feel a lot more inclined to keep your thoughts to yourself. And you might actually end up doing your best thinking on your own. And since the 12th house correlates with the subconscious, you might be getting messages and information from subconscious sources, like from dreams or from meditation, or any other type of spiritual work you might be doing. Then on April 27th, Mercury enters the sign of Taurus, which correlates with your first house of self. So then, after spending, 17 days kind of keeping their thoughts hidden as Mercury's in the 12th house, there's going to be another really big shift as Mercury enters the first house of self, because then you're going to be a lot more willing and able to kind of express yourself clearly and be a lot more articulate, because you're going to be embodying Mercury energy. And what else are you seeing going on this month, Jamie?
Well, we've got a couple of moons. There is a full moon on April 7th, which falls in Libra, which is your 6th house, Taurus. And it's hanging out with Juno, which is still retrograde. And if you saw the video that we put into the 2020 news playlist about Juno retrograde, then you know that this has to do with a relationship retrospective that a lot of people are going through this spring. It opposes that sun in Aries in the 12th house. So you may be feeling kind of pulled back and forth between, do I want to sort of go off on my own and have what I want, but have to be alone? Or do I be in my relationship and do I defer to my partner? Do I take a little bit more of a service orientation and really work to find out what's fair. So the full moon could bring themes like that as a part of the longer term relationship retrospective that Juno retrograde is putting us all through. And that full moon is right around the 7th, so you may be experiencing those themes anywhere for about the 3 days surrounding the 7th, the day of, the day before, and the day after. Now, there's a new moon coming later in the month, and the new moons are usually just about 2 weeks after the full moons right now. This one is happening actually on the 22nd. You'll see that the moon is going to leave Aries and move ahead into early Taurus and hang out with the sun. And this one connects with a Uranus square Saturn that's happening super briefly. Saturn has moved ahead into Aquarius, and we have a video about that in the 2020 news playlist also. Saturn is beginning to vibrate into Aquarius this year. And on this moon, it's sort of captured in its square with Uranus in early Taurus. Now, this is kind of a little crazy because Uranus is rebellious and rule breaking, and it's in the very stabilizing sign of Taurus, while Saturn is very much about rule making, and it's in the rebellious sign of Aquarius. And then the two of them meet up in a square, and this new moon's kind of caught in the crossfire. So it could be emotional. There could be a lot of feelings of like, do I clamp down and just like be strong and keep on keeping on, or do I just break out and have total chaos? And for you, this is going to feel kind of personal because that new moon is there in your first house with Uranus. And so, you got to know, Taurus, that Uranus is moving along through your sign, and it spends 7 years in a sign. You're going to go through some really big changes while Uranus is there. The year that it transits your sun, if you have the sun in Taurus, the year it transits your sun, you're just going to have a really big shift in your very concept of who you are as a person. It's kind of worth knowing when that's going to be, or whether it's happened already. Now, if you have Taurus rising, it'll come into your first house at some point during this 7-year period. And once again, really big shift in and how you present yourself. So this new moon could maybe hearken to that, be a herald of that, a sort of a harbinger of that, and or maybe it's already come on. A reading is really the best place to find out that sort of thing for sure. And your birthday is coming anyway, so those things could all be rolled together into a single reading if you like. So there's let's see. Oh, I talked about both of the moons, and I think we talked about everything that we wanted to. Yeah, I think we covered it all. Julia, did you have anything else you wanted to throw in there?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, Taurus. We enjoyed making this for you. We hope you're having a lovely spring, and we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.